Hello everyone. In this video we shall cover the mechanisms of toxicity. So in the earlier lectures we have covered the classification of toxicity and the factors influencing the toxicity. So now let us see how exactly the toxicity can be produced by all these agents. Okay, so there are a number of mechanisms involved in the toxicity. May it be systemic or may it be local. Okay, so coming to the several mechanisms, the first one out of which is the inflammation. Okay, so we all are aware of what an inflammation is. Okay, so you all must have studied it earlier under your anatomy physiology as to what are the different characteristic features like swelling, vasodilatation, okay, pain, loss of function. So these are all the cardinal features of the inflammation, and you all also must be aware of several mediators which are involved in triggering the inflammation or carrying out the various processes involved in the inflammation, like histamine, serotonin, platelet activating factors. So there are a number of factors which mediate this inflammation. Okay, so when our body comes in contact with a particular toxicant, it may result in inflammation. Now this inflammation, it may be either a local response to this irritant chemical, that is when it comes in contact with the skin, it may irritate the skin and it may produce a local inflammation in that particular area where it is coming in contact with, or it may result into systemic tissue injury which may result into systemic inflammation. Okay, so also we have seen that a particular toxicity can be either acute or chronic depending upon the exposure. Okay, so likewise an inflammatory response also may be acute, okay, or it may be chronic. Okay, in case of acute exposure, that is a short time exposure, it may irritate that particular area of the skin. Okay, or if it is chronic, that is upon repeated exposure to that particular irritant or that particular toxicant, or maybe a prolonged exposure to that particular toxicant, also it may result into the toxicity, okay, or the inflammation in that particular area. Now depending upon the exposure, that inflammation may be restricted to a local area, okay, or it may result into systemic tissue injury also. Okay, so this is the first mechanism of toxicity. Next very important mechanism is the necrosis. Okay, now necrosis means cell death, okay, or death of a tissue or a cell. Okay, so now this particular cell death may also be instituted by certain chemicals. Okay, so wherever it comes into contact with or wherever the exposure takes place, in that particular area the cells or the tissues may get damaged and they may die ultimately. So for example, say corrosion, okay, due to some chemicals, it may corrode, it may be corrosive, okay, or severe hypoxia, or membrane damage, reactive metabolite binding, or inhibition of protein synthesis, or chromosome injury. So all of these may result into cell death in that particular area where it is exposed. Now necrosis, when you consider the cell death, now in certain cases of toxicity, this necrosis may be zonal, it may follow certain pattern of zonal necrosis, that is it may produce cell death in specific areas of particular organs also. Okay, say for example, we'll take an example of liver damage. Now in case of galactosamine, it produces diffuse necrosis of the lobules. Our liver, it is divided into several lobules, right? So it may produce necrosis, diffuse necrosis throughout the lobule. Okay, whereas if you can consider acetaminophen or paracetamol, this mainly produces the centrilobar necrosis, so entire lobule may not be involved. certain organic arsenicals. It produces peripheral lobular necrosis. In that lobule only peripherally the necrosis of the cell death may take place. Okay, so necrosis may take place wherein an irritant is coming into contact, that is the cells may die in that particular region, whereas certain chemicals may produce zonal necrosis, that is a particular area may be involved. Then the next mechanism of toxicity is fibrosis. Okay. Now ultimately inflammation may result into cell death, or it may result into fibrosis, that is after the tissue dies it is replaced by the fibrous connective tissue. In other words, the scar formation will take place. Okay, so this is one more mechanism of toxicity. The scarring may take place, or your normal tissue will be replaced by the fibrous connective tissue in this particular process. Next mechanism is the enzyme inhibition. Now enzymes, as you all are aware of that, they are a very important biomolecule which is present in our body. They are mainly protein in nature, and there are several physiological processes which are taking place. There are several pathways, several reactions in our body which are taking place, which are catalyzed by one or the other enzyme. Okay, so enzymes are very important in mediating all of the biological activities in our body. So some of the vital biological pathways may be catalyzed by these enzymes. Okay, so whatever substrates are generated, they may play some important role in certain function, or these metabolites which are generated, these may have certain physiological alterations or normal functioning, or they themselves may act as certain biomolecules which are playing certain roles, maybe a channel or maybe a transporter or something like that. Okay, so enzymes are involved in catalyzing a number of reactions or biological reactions in our body which generate several molecules, or maybe it will help in metabolizing certain harmful substances in our body. Okay, so if these enzymes are inhibited, obviously it will show deleterious effects on the body. Okay, so now because of this enzyme inhibition, there may be accumulation of certain substrates, okay, which are actually supposed to be metabolized by these enzymes. If this enzyme activity is inhibited, obviously that substrate will start accumulating in the body. So maybe it will show the toxicity, okay, or it may be toxic and the enzyme is removing that particular toxic substance. So because of this enzyme inhibition, that substrate, toxic substrate, is started accumulating in our body. Or maybe this enzyme is producing certain product, or it may be responsible for certain function which may be required for normal physiology of the body. So obviously because of inhibition of this enzyme, obviously there will be deficiency of that product which is generated by that enzyme, or there may be deficiency of that particular function which is mediated by that particular enzyme. Okay, say for example organophosphate anticholinesterases. So these produce toxicity by accumulation of acetylcholine. Okay, anticholinesterases. Cholinesterase is an enzyme required for the metabolism or breakdown of the acetylcholine. So organophosphates, okay, anticholinesterases, these inhibit this enzyme cholinesterase which is involved in the metabolism of this acetylcholine. So as a result of this, ACH will start accumulating at cholinergic synapses or neuromuscular junctions, and it can result into toxicity. One more example is considered over here, that is cyanide. This inhibits the cytochrome oxidases and it will interfere with the mitochondrial oxygen transport. Okay, or it may result into, as a result of this, it may result into cytotoxic hypoxia. Okay, so this could be a very serious consequences of enzyme inhibition. Next mechanism is biochemical uncoupling. Okay, so now in biochemistry you all must have studied that there are several pathways which are taking place in the body which generate certain metabolites or certain substrates which are utilized by some other pathway. So two pathways may be linked to each other, or they may be coupled to each other, right? Okay, so there are several such pathways which may be coupled. Now this coupling may be interfered with by these particular agents. Okay, so these are biochemical uncoupling which may take place by these particular agents. So it will interfere with the synthesis of the energy phosphate molecules. Okay, because we have seen that the several pathways, they are helpful in generating the energy in the form of phosphates. ATP is generated in our body, right? Okay, so this energy generation, it may get affected because of this biochemical uncoupling which may take place by the effect of certain toxicants. But as a result of this uncoupling, the electron transport still continues. So what will happen is energy generation, that will reduce, but the liberation of the energy in the form of heat, that will continue. So as a result of this uncoupling, there will be increased oxygen consumption and hyperthermia, that is increase in the temperature. Okay, so there are some of the agents, examples of the agents which are listed out over here, which cause the biochemical uncoupling. These include dinitrophenol and pentachlorophenol. Next mechanism is lethal synthesis. Okay, lethal meaning something which is dangerous, life threatening. Okay, so now there are several processes in our body or several pathways in our body which generate certain normal substrate or normal products which are generated, right? Now there are certain instances wherein some unwanted substrate may get introduced in place of a normal substrate. Okay, some foreign substance, your toxicant which has entered the body, because of its similarity with that structure, the normal biological substrate which gets incorporated in certain pathways. Now your toxicant may have similar structure, a close structural similarity. So because of this structural similarity, this foreign substance, that is your toxicant, may get incorporated into certain biochemical pathways. Instead of normal biological substrate, foreign substance, because of its similarity in the structure, it may get incorporated. So because it gets incorporated, a wrong substrate has entered into that pathway, obviously the products which are generated, that will also be a wrong one, correct? Okay, so these will further get metabolized to toxic products. Okay, an example is considered over here, that is fluoroacetate. Now this gets incorporated in the Krebs cycle as fluoroacetyl coenzyme A. So this then combines with oxaloacetate to form fluorocitrate. Now this fluorocitrate, it inhibits the enzyme aconitase. So by inhibiting this enzyme, the tricarboxylic acid cycle, it will get blocked because this is the enzyme involved in this particular cycle. So as a result of this, because of blockage of this cycle, it may result in certain serious toxicities like cardiac and nervous system toxicity. Okay, so this is to do with the lethal synthesis, meaning rather than producing some normal metabolites, abnormal metabolites may get generated. That's why it is called as lethal synthesis. So those abnormal metabolites will then hamper our body system. That's why it is known as lethal synthesis. Next mechanism is lipid peroxidation. Okay, now free radicals which are even normally generated in the body, these are tackled very easily by our body, okay, though they are generated in the body. So these free radicals which are generated, okay, or these in the form of toxicants, or certain toxicants may start generating the free radicals in the body. So these free radicals in the biological membranes, it may start certain chain events which may cause cellular dysfunction or even death. Okay, so normal cellular function may get affected as a result of generation of excess of free radicals. So sometimes it may even result in cellular death. Okay, so now this particular lipid peroxidation, it involves the complex series of events, or a number of stepwise reactions will take place in this particular lipid peroxidation. So as a result of this, oxidation of fatty acids to lipid hydroperoxides may take place. Okay, so these lipid hydroperoxides, these undergo degradation to various products, okay, including the toxic aldehydes. So a number of toxic substances may be generated as a result of increase in the oxidation, okay, or lipid peroxidation. So these generation of the organic radicals during this lipid peroxidation, these will result in several other reactions. So these free radicals which are generated, they will in turn start producing toxic substances, which in turn will start initiating some other chemical reactions, and it may be harmful to that particular tissue or the cell where the lipid peroxidation is increased. Okay, let's take an example of carbon tetrachloride, which is very popular in case of liver damage or hepatic damage. So this carbon tetrachloride, it is activated by hepatic cytochrome P450 dependent monooxygenase system. Okay, so carbon tetrachloride, it is acted upon by this CYP enzyme, and it gets converted into trichloromethyl and trichloromethyl peroxy radicals. So free radicals are generated from this carbon tetrachloride by the action of the cytochrome P450 dependent monooxygenase system. Now out of these two radicals which are generated, the former, that is the trichloromethyl radical, so this is probably covalently it binds with the macromolecules in the body, whereas the latter, that is the trichloromethyl peroxy radicals, this initiates the process of lipid peroxidation. This will result in hepatic centrilobar necrosis. So it will result in the specific zonal necrosis, that is centrilobal necrosis will take place in the hepatic lobules. Okay, so this probably why it is producing this centrilobar necrosis is because this enzyme which is responsible for generation of the radicals, it is higher in concentration in this particular region. The cytochrome P450 activity is high in this centrilobar region. So that's the reason why carbon tetrachloride specifically produces hepatic centrilobar necrosis. Okay. Next type of mechanism of toxicity is covalent binding. Now there are several reactive metabolites which may be generated, or the toxicants may covalently bind to certain macromolecules in the body. So these macromolecules, when they are acted upon, there may be alterations and further reactions, and these macromolecules which play a role in certain genotoxicity or the carcinogenicity or teratogenicity or maybe immunosuppressive events. So these events will start activating. So genotoxicity meaning genetic material is altered, okay, in here. Then carcinogenicity meaning cancerous growth may take place. Teratogenicity means the toxicant which is generated, it may be toxic to the fetus which is growing in the womb, or immunosuppression may take place. So all these events may be initiated because of this covalent binding. So there are several mechanisms which are involved over here. Again, we will consider exactly what are the mechanisms in detail when we cover the individual toxicities also a little later. Okay, so initially what will happen is your body defense will try to adjust, or it will try to defend that particular toxicants which is trying to cause all these types of damages. Okay, but even your body defense mechanisms are saturable. So a time will come wherein your body defense will not be effective and it will start precipitating all these types of conditions. We will consider individual mechanisms again when we cover the specific toxicity. Okay, then the next mechanism is oxidative stress. Okay, oxidative stress, it induces the injury to the cells. by production of the excessive production of the reactive oxygen species. Now these reactive oxygen species, they may interact specifically with the DNA, okay, that is genetic material, or it may react with the lipids or the proteins of the cells, and in turn it will start producing the cellular dysfunction or the cellular death. So again, oxidative stress because of the excessive generation of reactive oxygen species is one more mechanism of toxicity. Next mechanism is receptor interaction. Okay, now there are several receptors in our body, as you all must be aware of, that are specifically meant for interaction with maybe certain biochemicals which are already present in the body, the normal biochemicals which are present in the body, or there are several receptors which are which are generated specifically for the xenobiotics. Xenobiotics are something which are foreign to our body, like say for example drugs which we consume. Okay, so there are specific receptors which are meant to bind with only these drugs. Okay, so a number of receptors are present in the body. So several substances or several molecules, they bind to these particular receptors, and in turn signaling pathways will carry that particular signal. Every particular receptor, when it gets stimulated, it will produce some or the other action. So it will be mediating some action in the body. So these receptors may also be interfered with by the toxicant. Okay, so say for example, if your toxicant have some similarity with the actual normal molecule which binds with that receptor, it may in turn go and bind to the receptor, stimulate it or inhibit it, or modify the function of that particular receptor. So either at cellular or macromolecular level, it may modify the actions which are mediated through that particular receptors. So either these receptors may be stimulated, so either excitatory effects will be produced, or by inhibiting these receptors, the inhibitory actions may be seen by that particular toxicant. So one example is quoted over here, that is the toxicants may alter the calcium channels. So we have seen that certain ion channels also act as receptors. Okay, so calcium ion channels, these are very important in case of cardiac contractility, muscle contractility. Okay, so by altering the actions of these channels, obviously the normal physiology of the body can be affected. Okay, next mechanism is endocrine disruption. Okay, so endocrine meaning pertaining to release of the hormones. So endocrine hormones play a very important role in normal physiology of our body. Okay, so they mediate or they control the normal functioning. They try to adjust according to the requirements of the body. So certain hormones are released in the body to alter certain normal physiology, or to maintain certain physiology, or to tackle with certain external features. Okay, so these endocrine function also may be disrupted by the xenobiotics or by the toxicants. So a number of xenobiotics are available which can alter this normal endocrine functions. So as a result of this, there may be several unwanted consequences. You all also must have studied this under pathophysiology, as to what happens when there is under secretion or hyper secretion of a particular hormone. So if it is not in the normal range, obviously it will result in some kind of physiological alteration. So some pathological conditions may be precipitated. Say for example, it may produce reproductive problems, or there may be increased risk of development of endocrine dependent cancers. Okay, so several interference with the steroid biosynthesis. So some of the hormones or many of the hormones are steroid in nature. So when there is interference in the steroid biosynthesis or the hormonal biosynthesis, it may again have adverse effects on the sexual differentiation, or the growth, normal growth may be affected, normal development may be affected. Okay, so endocrine disruption again is one more important mechanism which can alter the normal functioning of the body, and it can produce the toxicity. Next mechanism is immune mediated hypersensitivity. Okay, so hypersensitivity reactions which are mainly mediated by the immune system, these may be precipitated. So certain toxicant may act as the allergic substances or antigenic materials. Okay, so these are mainly pertaining to the skin or the lung. They play a very important role. So certain substances, when they come into contact with the skin, they will start precipitating certain hypersensitivity reaction. Okay, say eczema or irritation in that particular area. Okay, so certain hypersensitivity reactions may be precipitated either on the skin or mainly in the lungs. Okay, so certain reactions like contact dermatitis may be produced, okay, pertaining to the skin, or respiratory sensitization or asthma, allergic type of asthma may get precipitated. Now how exactly these are mediated? Mainly in the skin, the epidermal Langerhans cells may be altered. Okay, so that's how the certain substances may increase the potential to skin sensitization. In case of respiratory sensitization, mainly these are mediated by IgE or the T helper cells, type 2 cells. Okay, so these may mediate the respiratory sensitization. Okay, next mechanism is immunosuppression. Okay, so our immune system, it plays a very important role in the defense mechanism of our body against some foreign substances, that is xenobiotics. So any foreign substance entering into our body, okay, it will act as the antigen. So our body will not keep quiet with that particular substance. It will try to defend that particular antigen which has been introduced into our body. Okay, so these particular xenobiotics, these are very important in precipitating certain type of reactions. Okay, so our body in turn will start generating the antibodies and it will try to tackle that particular foreign substance. But there are certain toxic substances which can suppress the immune system. Okay, so as a result of suppression of the immune system, what will happen? Our body will not be able to react against that foreign substance, right? So as a result of this, there will be increased susceptibility to infective agents or certain aspects of tumorigenesis. Okay, so certain tumors may be generated or certain infections may encounter our body as a result of immunosuppression by the toxicants. So it will result into the unwanted kind of effects which may be precipitated in the body as a result of immunosuppression. The next mechanism is neoplasia. Okay, so neoplasia meaning there is uncontrollable growth. Okay, aberration meaning abnormal tissue growth. Okay, or there are certain agents which may control the mechanisms of the cell divisions. So as a result of this, there will be abnormal proliferation and growth in that particular tissue. So as a result of this, there may be formation of neoplasm. So tumorigenesis, that is tumor formation, or oncogenesis. Okay, so these consequences may be seen. That is, there are several generation of the neoplasms. So uncontrollable growth in that particular tissues may take place as a result of certain agents. So tissues may grow uncontrollably and cancerous growth may take place in certain regions of the body. Okay, so oncogenesis, it means increase in the number of neoplasms or increase in the specific type of neoplasm. Okay, or occurrence of the rare or unique neoplasm or decreased latency to detection of the neoplasm. So neoplasm will be there or it may not be detected in early stages. Okay, so these could be some of the consequences of certain toxicant action. So neoplasia is one more mechanism by which toxicity in the body may take place in the form of cancerous growth. Okay, so these are all the mechanisms of toxicity. Thank you.